Collin has built his career by recognizing opportunity and having the guts to seize it. As a student at the University of Florida, Collin struggled to get to class on time because buses to campus would pass him by with the words "full bus" across the top. This led to the creation of one of the nation's top scooter dealerships, New Scooters for Less, and shifted the culture of an entire college community. Collin and his team built New Scooters for Less in the backbone of social media marketing, set forth us. Collin created the WHOA GNV Podcast in an effort to create the next positive culture shift by showing off businesses and individuals that make you go, whoa. In his spare time, which he obviously has a lot of, you can find him creating content at collinaustin.tv and building relationships on Instagram at collinaustin. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Man, this is such a privilege. Anytime I get to come and speak to a new audience, I haven't met you guys before. And anytime I see teams coming together and celebrating growth of a company, growth of you guys as individuals, it's just a complete honor. So thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and warn you guys a little bit. I've been fighting this weird cough, and hold on. I just wanted to give you guys the heads up. That I went to the doctor. I do not have the coronavirus. So if I cough, and you don't have to go bolting for the door. So just wanted to give you that heads up. So you guys, let me bring a little bit of context to who I am. Just because I know none of you know me, and then I can, what I hope to do tonight is leave you guys with a few bullet points that just have you ready to kick 2020's ass. All right? My name is Collin. I'm the co-founder of a company called New Scooters for Less in Gainesville, Florida. For the first 18 years of my life, I bounced around from town to town, city to city. My dad was a fighter pilot in the United States Air Force, and so I was very used, thank you. So I was very used to moving quite a bit. In fact, it's funny because recently I've been speaking to a lot of real estate groups, and it's funny when I look back at those first 18 years, one of the best parts of moving was when we would go with the realtor and go searching house to house, and I would go through those houses. I'm like, oh, is this gonna be my new bedroom? And then my sister would be like, hell no, that's gonna be my bedroom. But that was always the fun part, even though there was obviously a lot of challenges with moving all the time. But I went to high school in San Antonio, Texas. I graduated in the top 5% of my class, and when you do that in the state of Texas, you actually get to choose. You had automatic acceptance to any of the state schools. So I could have gone to any school in the state of Texas, but there's only one school that I ever wanted to go to, and that was the University of Florida, baby. Who's a Gator? Who's a Gator? Yeah? Oh, no. Oh, man. None of that. How about any Florida State Seminoles in the room? Okay. Well, yeah, so I always wanted to be a Gator, and so I applied to one school, got in, the University of Florida. I majored in business administration and minored in mass communications, and my 4 years at the University of Florida, that was the longest I'd ever lived in one place. So Gainesville very much became home during that time. And in my last semester, I'm like any college student, trying to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do with the rest of my life, right? I'm going to this thing they call Career Showcase. They do it at the O-Dome. Get dressed up in your suit and tie, got your resume in hand, and you're going around from recruiter to recruiter, you're shaking hands. And you probably don't want to shake my hand because coronavirus, but shaking hands, and they're looking at you and they're going, so Collin, why do you want to work for our company? And I was just looking at him thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I don't. And that was one of those light bulb moments for me, right? Where I realized that, man, maybe this isn't for me, this corporate world stuff, suit and ties all the time. You guys, and just so you guys know, you have this is the fanciest I ever get. Like you guys are like super fancy. Like this is the fanciest I ever get. Normally I'm in like blue jeans, a t-shirt, baseball cap, and like I went all out for you guys. You see this? So, hold on, I just lost my train of thought. But so I went to Career Showcase. That was like the light bulb moment for me. And then I went right along the same time, going out to that bus stop again. Right, go out to that bus stop. I'm sitting at that bus stop. I see the bus coming. Bus is coming down the road. I grab my backpack off the bench, put it on, get ready to get on, and that bus drives by with those big words across the top that said full bus. And I was like, man, this has happened a lot over 4 years. If this is happening to me, who else has this happened to, right? Luckily for me, being in the business school, some of you who went to UF might know this, being in the business school, my classes were on Cox Cable, Channel 5. I could set my fancy VCR to record my classes. And so luckily I was able to watch my classes, but I just had this question, how many students are struggling to get to class? And the answer was quite a bit. So in March of 2004, 2 months before graduating, I started New Scooters for Less. And now, 16 years later, we've effectively become one of the top dealerships in the country for many of the brands. We've been number one for several of our distributors and have been in the top 5 for most of them several years in a row. So that's where we're at, 16 years next month. And the best thing about this is through this process, I fell in love with the community. I fell in love with Gainesville, Florida. Right? Being there 20 years now, I've just become extremely passionate about Gainesville and everything going on there. I sit on the Chamber Board of Directors in Gainesville, and I was going, in the last couple years, I've been going to these meetings where the Chamber of Commerce, the City of Gainesville, University of Florida, Santa Fe College, all these really large organizations coming together and really trying to get a unified vision for our community. And I absolutely love that. I love that I get to participate in that. But I kept leaving these meetings thinking to myself, what can I do? Like, what can I do as an entrepreneur in Gainesville? What can I do? Like, where we don't have to wait on this and just start taking action. I'm an entrepreneur. I like to take action. So ended up leaving those meetings and thinking to myself, I'm going to start a podcast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start a podcast that highlights what makes Gainesville so great, and that's its people. So we have 3 main missions behind this podcast. The first is to keep our top 7 talent, or keep a lot of our top 7 talent in Gainesville. I'll share a few of them with you guys up here in Jacksonville. But keep top 7 talent in Gainesville. 2, to attract experienced talent and to attract investor capital to Gainesville. There are some incredible businesses blossoming in Gainesville right now. And then the 3rd is to build as many collaborations and connections in Gainesville as possible. So this passion, this purpose, this has really helped me define my purpose, right? When I was 21 years old and thinking about the scooter, seeing this problem, I'm like, oh, cool, my purpose is to sell scooters and make some money. Like, let's go, 21 years old, let's do this. But now, really being invested in this community, I've discovered that my purpose is to build people, it's to inspire people, and it's to build community. So I want to leave you guys with just a few things tonight. 1, I would really like for you guys to start thinking or asking yourself, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? I think in real estate, it's very easy for us to get into routines. It's very easy for us to get into transactions. Like, are you selling a piece of real estate, or are you introducing somebody to your community for the very first time? Those are 2 very different purposes, right? This week, I did something crazy. I don't know if I should do it again. We had a podcast. So we just celebrated episode 100 of our podcast. And I decided to change it up and do a little mastermind session. And so what I did was I invited 6 Gainesville real estate agents to this table all at the same time. quickly discovered that it was no longer my podcast, it was their podcast. There was a lot of energy in the room. Everybody was going super crazy. But one of the individuals in there said something that really resonated with me. And he was talking about, it's coronavirus. He was talking about, she's leaving. He was talking about, he was really just talking about the transaction of real estate. And he brought up the fact that, sure, it's great to get this $1 million listing, right? And there's going to be a bunch of commission on that. And, as a realtor, they love the $1 million listings. But he really hit me when he said, but I really get fulfillment when I help that person who is getting their very first home. And it's usually not that giant transaction. It's usually somebody who has scraped and saved for that deposit. And, the fulfillment in that and getting that person into their very first home. So just think are you in this because you want to make an impact, or are you in it because you just want the commission? Really think about that purpose as you go through 2020. The second thing that I want you guys to do is, who in here sets goals? Who sets goals? Everybody? Raise your hand so I can see. Who? Who reads your goals? Who reads your goals every single day? Who reads your goals every single day? Okay. One of the things that I do inside of my bathroom at home, I have on the mirror these giant Post-its. You can get them on Amazon. They're like this size. Put them on my mirror, and every morning when I'm brushing my teeth, I'm reading those goals. And every night when I'm brushing my teeth, I'm reading those goals. But there's something extra that I do that just takes it that little extra step, and that's I speak my goals out loud. So my challenge to you this year is to speak your goals into existence. One of the greatest stories of my entrepreneurial career came because I did this. From 2007 to 2015, my dealership was a couple miles away from campus. I was leasing from a great guy. But all the time, while I'm leasing this property, he and I had talked a couple times. I'm like, hey, man, would you sell this? Would you sell me my, where our business is? Would you sell us this piece? We talked about it a couple times, and it never came through. And I would always pray. I'd always be like, God, please, let me get this piece of property. Why? I'm tired of renting. I'm tired of paying this guy rent. Why can't I, own this, right? Well, the answer was because in 2017, we had moved our business to a place that is a half mile north of the University of Florida on 13th Street, which is a much busier road. Signed a lease. I had the opportunity to sign the lease. And the day that I signed the lease, grab one of our great videographers, walking through this dealership, which is just disastrous. I mean, guys, it was a crap hole. There's dirt, stuff everywhere. It's falling apart. And I'm walking around and I'm painting this picture. I'm like, yeah, picture this. This is what, we're gonna have scooters here. And I'm just walking it through. And for whatever reason, and I don't know what caused me to do it, I turn around and I look at the camera and I said, the owner doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to buy this property. And just like that, speaking that goal into existence, that desire, it just burned in me. And then 2 years later, we bought that piece of real estate. And it will be one of the single best entrepreneurial moves of my entire career. Very good. So, 2020, speak your goals into existence. 3, I want everybody to take it up one more degree. Who has heard of the 212 degree principle? Anybody? Okay, the principle is at 211 degrees, you have super hot water. super hot water. But at 212 degrees, that water begins to boil. And boiling water creates steam, and steam can power a locomotive. That 1 degree of difference. So at New Scooters for Less, our number one core value is to create and recreate the UCE, the ultimate customer experience. Everything that we do is focused on exemplary customer service. And so this year, I want you guys to think about how you can take it up 1 more degree. At New Scooters for Less, this involves writing a thank you card to every single person who buys a scooter from our company. Handwritten thank you card. Every time we sell a scooter, we have this big bell in the back. We ring this bell. The entire team comes running around the scooter, and we look at the camera, and we take this giant picture with the entire team, right? On Valentines Day, we take this giant helium tank, we take balloons, we go to campus, we fill up balloons with Valentines and these red and silver, pink balloons, everything, and put them on our customer scooters and just thank them for their business, right? These are the ways that we have come up with a way to go up that 1 degree. So that is my challenge. Take it up 1 notch. You know, it's funny because I think about technology and these tools that we carry around in our pocket. One simple thing, if you want a little hack, a little tip, something that you guys could execute tomorrow, use your phone. One of my favorite things is I have a friend who constantly, instead of texting me, he will send me video messages. Right? And it's just like, hey, Collin, dude, what's up, man? I just want to let you know that I was thinking about you today. I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you for everything, whatever. And I get that expression and that power behind his voice, right? So pulling out your phone and taking a little quick video. Hey, Dave, what's up, man? I am here with Century 21 Group. You guys say what's up to Dave. And man, I am here because of your recommendation. Thank you so much. Here's Gina and Dean and everybody over here, Bobby, everybody. Hey, Gina says thanks for the fireball, by the way. And just want to say thanks for all you do, man. Boom. It's as simple as that, you guys. Quick video message, right? And my final thing that I want to leave you with tonight is I want you, next to those goals on your mirror, write down this question: what would it take for me to have complete admiration by those around me? What would it take for me to have complete admiration by those around me? All right, one of the things that I've been super focused on lately is legacy, right? The one thing I can guarantee all of you is that nobody's gonna care how many houses or pieces of property you sold when you die. Not a single person. So don't let your legacy be defined by that. Okay? This podcast, something really cool happened. Next week on Tuesday, I'm interviewing somebody who reached out to me. They were from Gainesville. They moved to Dallas. He reached out to me and he says, Collin, I just want to let you know that my wife and I, we're moving back to Gainesville and we're starting a business in Gainesville because of your podcast. And I'm interviewing him on our podcast this coming week. And that is what I want my life to be defined by: legacy of impact. What do you want your legacy to be defined by? You guys, I am passionate about community. And there is nobody more responsible for building community than real estate agents. What you guys do. So I just want you guys to know that I am so grateful for the investments that you make into your community. And thank you so much for having me tonight. It's been a pleasure.